Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachak Kodash. The bonus be unto the apostles and others at Great Millstone who rule well, and taught us this 100% truth. Much peace and blessings be unto you, hopeful, elect out to push not this word of thought, truth, and sincerity. To Ayuak and Messiah Shalom. And Yakira, I'm from the servants of Yahweh, Yahushai, Can coming in with a quick lesson entitled Forgetting the Evil. Alright, now this lesson was inspired by one of the precepts one of the Yakim sent me. But first of all, I'm going to start from the book of Sirach, the 11th chapter, verse 25. But with me, Yakim. And because we're tired, man. You know? We're tired of this oppression. You know, all we've ever been through was pain and suffering. And it goes to the point where we have no good memories of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Or it's just pain, suffering, hell, affliction, tests, trials. You know, this and that and the third. It's just hard, man. Alright, but that's why the promise that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, gave us about we'll have an eternal rest is coming soon, and we believe that through the Spirit. Alright, this is the year 2022, the year of turn up. All these things are turned up to the max, and we gotta keep on believing like it's the end already. Alright, we gotta keep on believing like today's the end. Yahweh is gonna crack down the sky today, and that's in the book of 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, which I'm gonna get out actually. So I'm gonna get out this one first before I get out Ecclesiasticus or Sirach. But starting off verse not 10, but verse 9. It reads, "The Lord is not slack concerning His promise." Alright, what's that word promise in the etymology? I can get out, and I am Shikakim, so the one with the Zah. I stay put with these lessons. And Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, sends us healing, right? To the Yakim that need it, because a lot of Yakim are sick right now. And that's another thing, being in this flesh, we're about to get sick and suffer these ailments and whatnot. This flesh is freaking fragile, very, very, very weak. And that's why in those spiritual bodies in the kingdom, we're gonna be, 100% healthy. Or I will never ever suffer getting acne, no blemishes, no ailments, no injuries, none of that, man. Alright, we're gonna be completely indestructible and invincible. But going on, that's a promise as well. But going on, the definition of promise is a solemn pledge, a vow, a declaration in reference to the future made by one person to another, assuring the latter that the former will do or not do a specified act. Hey, so the Lord made a solemn pledge with us, man. All right, and the Lord is not a liar the Lord is not a power that He should lie. All right, and the scriptures say, my word shall not return unto me void. So whatever He says will come to pass. All right, we understand it, man. Going back to 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, it reads, "The Lord is not slack concerning His promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. But the day of the Lord will come in as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise." Or the heavens, that being the sky, and it'll pass away with a great noise. That you hear. That's going to the ICBM, because you hear an ICBM, either in these films or footages, or just secondhand witness. Basically hearing it secondhand by a first-hand witness. They always tell you it comes out with a big bang. All right, just a big old explosion, a big old kaboom. That's what it means by a great noise. And the elements, which is everything around you, all right, the chair, the matter within that chair, the wood, that those are elements. They come from the earth. All right, the flesh, we come from the dust, the ground, So everything around you in the earth is basically elements. It's comprised of elements, Hey, because the earth the earth was created combining certain elements, and the other apostle Tahar even made that point in Genesis 1 breakdown, decades ago. But going on, it says the elements shall melt with fervent heat. All right, there's no such thing as a big bang that can melt someone with the fervent heat. All right, you play the speaker. All right, the bass of the speaker, it makes a big bang, but you don't see anything eroding. You don't see anything melting away with the fervent heat. Why? Because that's talking about ICBM. And if you can't receive that, then you gotta pray that the Lord, basically opens the Spirit up to you. And if not, then ultimately it's because you ain't being dealt with. As a matter of fact, it could be that the point where you're actually destined to be missile food. All right, which destiny, because the Lord controls all men's lives. In Hebrews 10:31, talking about how if people think to fall into the hand of the living power, which that word hand in Hebrews 10:31 basically goes back to the Greek word. I forget what it's pronounced, but the definition is in determining and controlling the destinies of man. So it's a terrible thing to fall into his hand. Going on, it says, "And the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up," because everything's gonna get destroyed. Basically be vaporized. All these buildings around you, all the wicked, everything will be vaporized completely. So we gotta keep on believing like it's the last day. All right, because you don't know when Yahweh's gonna crack down that sky. It could be that World War III pops off right now. All right, as the Hakim are doing the lessons, it could be that something happens and then, Yahweh comes down. All right, so we gotta keep on believing like all these things are they're not. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person shall ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? All right, we gotta be, we gotta be, doing the will of the Lord, being sanctified. We're basically being raised up as kings, and the king is a wise and very righteous man. And at least that's how it's supposed to be. Unlike this damn devil, all right, and all the heathen kings and higher ups, they're all wicked. And even the 2/3 of our people that were kings, they're all wicked. But a true king is supposed to, be a just man. All right, in the book of the second Psalm even says that. All right, hear ye, O kings, and princes of the earth. Really paraphrasing right there. Kiss the son lest he be angry, which goes into doing the will. But yeah, it says, what manner of person are ye to be in a holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of our power, wherein the heavens shall, being on fire, shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, which when you go to the Greek word for the word new, basically goes back to the Greek word kainos, which means refreshed, refurbished, renewed, all right, cleansed away. Because just like how you clean a plate in the sink, you remove all its grime and all the excess dregs and whatnot when you wash your dishes, a plate or a cup. The Lord's, that's how the Lord is describing it. The Lord's gonna cleanse His earth, or the face of this earth clean. Make it, to where it's gonna be a fresh start again. Or like back in the after the flood, it ended off with it started off with Noah and his 3 sons. Likewise, it'll happen again, but who's gonna be on top? The elect. Starting off with the 144,000. Servants of prophets are the men of the Lord out there in the highways and hedges doing these lessons. Week in and week out, doing these videos daily. They miss a day, they make it up, and to that sort. And even the few men that are the 1/3, which aren't prophets, but they're helping along. So that's scary, because out of all the billions of spirits on the earth, only 144,000 few men are going to be delivered. All right, you don't even have to include the women, because the women are on the side. All right, the scriptures even say that through childbearing shall the women be saved. Really paraphrasing right there. Hey, so you don't really have to include them. It's just the men, because the Lord's dealing with men only. So that's a scary thing. I just wanted to add that point, but goes on to say, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. That's going to happen by way of the ICBMs, because Yahweh shot, because of ICBMs and the chariots, they're gonna cleanse the earth by way of fire. And Yahweh shot, subduing all the heathen nations, He's gonna establish a kingdom in righteousness, and thou shalt be the only kingdom to exist forevermore. But now, Salaki, about that, going back to Ecclesiastes 11th chapter, verse 25, digressing back, raising a day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction, which that word prosperity, which ultimately, the 2 Peter the chapter actually, does go hand with this, because it is basically one of the promises. All right, and what's one of the promises? Eternal rest. All right, peace, happiness, joy. All right, the earth coming back to its former state, known as Aidan, which means a paradise for man. All right, so Ecclesiastes 11th chapter, verse 25. That's gonna be, basically the kingdom is gonna yell out Sirach 11 and 25. So that word prosperity basically means flourishing or thriving condition, good fortune, wealth, success, and anything good or desirable. Hey, so we shall flourish. As we say, as for wretchedness, you shall flourish. So when it says a flourishing or thriving condition, good fortune. Hey, we're gonna be flourishing and thriving. We're gonna have good fortune. We're gonna have wealth. We're gonna be successful. To that sort. So in the day of prosperity, there's a forgetfulness of affliction. We're gonna forget all the pain we've been through, Hakim. All the captivities we've been through, such as Egyptian captivity, the Assyrian captivity, the Babylonian captivity, the Middle Persian captivity, the Greek captivity, the ancient Roman, captivity, this captivity, and even the various captivities where the Yakim are at. All right, because wherever the Yakim, dwell at and are under the heathen, that's their captivity. So going on says in the day of prosperity, there's a forgetfulness of affliction. We're gonna forget all this, man. Yakim always be venting and crying and sighing and just basically, talking a whole manner of emotions, man. Talking about how the Lord don't love him, don't love us, and this and that, and the third. Which ultimately he does, all right? Amos, the 3rd chapter, verse 3, if I'm not mistaken, says, out of all the families I known thee, I had Sevi because he only knew us. All right, so just because he punished us severely doesn't mean that he doesn't love us. All right, we're the only people that the Lord knows. That speaks volumes right there. So going on, it says in a day of affliction, there is no remembrance of prosperity. All right, and that's the state that we're in right now. That's our mentality. But soon it'll be, our mentality will be joy. Forgetting the past. Now we will ultimately remember the past, all right, our past lives, all right, this captivity. But we won't even bother thinking about it because we're gonna have so much fun in the kingdom, man. So we're saying that one day in thy courts are better than 1,000 here. So yeah, man, that's heavy. All right, and in the day of affliction, there is no more remembrance of prosperity. So all these heathen nations, you guys in the kingdom, that'll be your eternal day of affliction, and you guys will no more remember prosperity. All right, now concubines, hey, they're gonna rejoice, being chosen by the Israelite men of the Lord. All right, they're gonna be happy that they have such a higher position than the rest of the heathen women. But ultimately they have low status as well, compared to our wives. So I just want to bring that point out. But now going on to 2 Peter, Zechariah, the 10th chapter. Starting on verse 6, it reads, "And I will strengthen the house of Judah, and I will save the house of Joseph." All right, so the Lord's coming to deliver all. Basically the basically the Lord's gonna bless them. As a nation of Israel, if I'm mistaken, the house of Judah is referring to the southern kingdom, and this house of Joseph is referring to the northern kingdom. Correct me if I'm wrong. Because understanding, Joseph is another name for Ephraim, which Ephraim is the head tribe of the northern kingdom. Going on says, "And I will bring them again to place them, for I have mercy upon them." And the Lord has, basically, the Lord loving kindness is basically, is basically eternal. For I have mercy upon them, and they shall be as though I had not cast them off. Hey, see? So in the day of prosperity, they shall no more. The remembrance of affliction shall be no more. Like it says in Sirach 11:25. So basically, we're gonna go to the point where we're not even basically think about it, but it's gonna be to the point like the Lord never cast us away. He never forsook us. All right, that we were always with Him. That's a promise, Hakim. And I will bring them again to place them, for I have mercy upon them, and they shall be as though I had not cast them off. It's gonna feel like the Lord never forsook us. That's what He did. He basically forsook us in our captivities. And then it will be to a certain extent, whereas the Lord will hear us again and remember the covenants He made with our forefathers. But it shall be as though He never cast us off. For I am the Lord, their power, and will hear them. And the Lord hears us, man. That's a beautiful thing. And just like in Amos 3:3, out of all the families of the earth, I have only known thee. Going on verse 7, "And they of Ephraim shall be like a mighty man, and their heart shall rejoice as through wine." You see a drunk person, and you see how he acts. All right, a drunk person, basically being in a merry state with a merry heart because he's drunk. All right, that's why people, they're depressed, they drink and then they get merry. All right, you look at the Akim that just basically go out to have fun, as a pastime to the bar, and they're married. All right, they forget all the pain, all the suffering, the tribulation we have to go through, and they're just at peace, for that state. But it's gonna be like that. Let's describing that to the nation of Israel. So it's gonna be like, hey man, we're gonna be married for all eternity. The book of Proverbs, the 17th chapter, verse 22, it reads, "A merry heart doeth good like a medicine. They see, but a broken spirit drieth the bones." So the Lord's gonna give us a merry spirit for all eternity. And you see how Drake, be basically busting it down in these nightclubs and parties and whatnot, because Drake is a party hard spirit. Hey, I can maybe going to parties here and there, just to keep a just balance. Although we don't do it, daily, we still may go out here and there. All right, but hey, because Jake is a party hard spirit in the kingdom, man, we're gonna do a lot of partying. All right, it's gonna be a beautiful time in that day. That's gonna be a Yapa thing. I can be talking about throwing parties, most days, every like certain day of the week, every month for all eternity. There's gonna be billions of parties, and it's like trillions of parties. Because you have to realize, since Israel will no more ever die, we're gonna keep on repopulating the earth, and so like we're gonna keep on repopulating our nation, and it could be to the point where we're gonna be so big that we have to travel off planet and basically colonize other planets, And since Jake will no more die, we're gonna be eternal. It's gonna be new spirit. We're gonna have new Israelite spirits. So it's gonna be like infinite Israelites for all eternity. All right, that's heavy, man. We'll just show you the mind of Yahweh Ba'ashim and Shai. It's every single individual. Although there's gonna be infinite Israelites, it's gonna know every single infinite Israelite. Man, that's why you can't, man. There ain't no meddling with the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim and Shai. All right, that's a hardcore thing. So, and their heart shall rejoice as through one. Yea, their children shall see it and be glad. Their heart shall rejoice in the Lord. Hey, so I can, an example, like I was bringing out earlier, I can be throwing out infinite parties, man. Except for the Sabbath. Man, the kingdom is going to be such a beautiful day. And I'm going to end it off in the book of Isaiah, the 60th chapter. But yeah, it's basically a quick exhortation. If I can, basically a quick exhortation for the icon to keep on going. Alright, but bear with me, Hakim. If I can find it, basically going into I just basically get out 1 Corinthians, the first chapter or second chapter, and because basically certain precepts in the New Testament, they're basically quoted off of the Old Testament. But I forget what precept that was I forget what chapter it was in the book of Isaiah, but basically going into how I had not seen and whatnot. Basically going how we have not seen the things the Lord prepared for us. But this is the book of 1 Corinthians, the second chapter, verse 9. It reads, "But as it is written, I had not seen nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man." That word going back to the word mind. The things which Yahweh prepared for them that love Him. All right, now we can't fathom it, but we can imagine it. Although it's not a good, precise, exact, basically exact concept of what the kingdom's gonna be. Basically, we get an idea of what it's gonna be. You need to realize it's gonna be by Yahweh Ba'ashim and Shai's design, so it's gonna be the top shit, man. Oh boy, I can't wait. But with that being said, out this video was edifying. Lord, will we continue to push? I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashim and Shai Ba'ashim Kodash. The one has been to the apostles and all those that remove stone who rule well and taught us 100% truth, much peace and blessings be unto you, whole food like that to push not this word of thought, truth and sincerity to all you. I can message Shalom.